Now, a lot of people are gonna think I'm capping. Go, Jay, that didn't happen. That ain't real. You lying. That's cap, bruh. A lot of motherfuckers gonna be like that. But this is all facts. I grew up with Vladimir Putin. Me and him, we're brothers. We're like, we're not full brothers. We're half brothers, but we're brothers, nonetheless. You know, me and Vladimir Putin, we hung out so much in our childhood, right? We hung out very young. This is like decades of building a relationship with this guy, and I got come to know him quite a bit. I remember we would chill, drink, smoke, do a little bit of cocaine from it's funny. Russia doesn't really fuck with Colombia, but they like the blow. I mean, he does at least. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, me and Vladimir Putin. I remember one time, and I remember this very like it was so vivid, so clear memory. Me and him were riding on horses, right? And he had his shirt off. I don't know why the fuck he took his shirt off. This shit was like fucking. It was a cold, chilly day, dude. I'm like, dude, I had a fucking hoodie on and a scarf on and shit. I'm like, why the fuck this nigga have no shirt on? But we were riding horses nonetheless. We were just riding, galloping on the horses, smoking a big fatty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were rolling. We were rolling off a little bit of coke and smoking a blunt. Smoking cocoa puffs actually. A little bit of cocaine laced with that blunt. But we were smoking. We were high as shit. And I remember he stopped the horse, right? And he looks me dead in the eyes, right? Took off his sunglasses and shit. And he said, I'm going to invade Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nigga. You know what I mean? We high as shit, bro. Yeah, you're going to invade Ukraine. I'm going to invade Colombia for them bitches, bro. I need a big booty bitch. That's what I was saying, right? I was all fucked up, right? I didn't take him seriously, yo. So, I mean, and in the last week, I check out the news. Come to find out, this nigga really did invade Ukraine. The Russian troops at the border. This motherfucker invading Ukraine. Welcome to the weekend show, ladies and gentlemen. Putin out here pushing P, bro. He pushing P, dog, for real. And I was like, dude, this nigga, the GOAT. This nigga, he said some shit to me, and he did that shit, bro. And I used to chill with him all the time, man. Back in the day, bro. But try calling him up. Called him up yesterday, bro. He ain't no answer. So that nigga, he on right now, you know what I'm saying? He doing things. He doing big things. Got nothing but respect. I think he kind of took it to heart because that was the last time I really chilled with him on the horse and shit. And I was kind of like laughing, cracking jokes, but he had that look in his eyes, man. He had that fire. He's like, yo, I'm gonna really do this shit. I'm really about it. It was like Tupac, in the movie Juice, when him and Q and Raheem, well, they're all sitting around, they're just sitting around smoking, and Tupac's like, why ain't we on some shit? Why ain't we doing that shit? And you know what I'm saying? Putin loved watching Scarface. He really did. He really loved watching like movies like Scarface, American Gangster, Schindler's List. He really liked those fucking badass movies where like the main protagonist or anti-hero just didn't give a shit about anybody but just getting to the top. He really liked Blow with Johnny Depp. You know what I mean? He's like, man, I love this. You know what I mean? Just get to the top by any means necessary and stay on top. You know what I'm saying? And he was big into like, these motherfuckers getting sloppy, right? You know what I'm saying? He was like, everybody, gets high and shit when they're on the top and they get fucked up and paranoid. And he was telling me like, on some shit, like on some real shit, he's like, I ain't gonna get high like this no more. And he just kind of cut me out of his life, I guess. So, I mean, good to each his own. He got sober and invaded Ukraine. So, I mean, when you're sober, you're able to do things like that, right? I got a buddy. Shouts out to my buddy Mitchell. He got sober too, and he bought a car. Soon enough, he might invade Poland. You never know. But yeah, just we'll go through some of the stuff that I did with Putin back in the day. Me and Putin back in the day. When we were young, we would wrestle bears with Khabib. You know, Khabib, the MMA fighter. We'd do shit like that, man. We actually were the ones that like we broke up the USSR. We just did that shit, you know what I'm saying? We're like, fuck y'all. We leaving. We out this bitch. Out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Ukraine got a little antsy, you know. Ukraine left saying, fuck y'all niggas. You know, they ghosted us and shit on Twitter at the time. You know, Twitter was just starting. Twitter was a lot of you know, Twitter was a lot of like, I'm eating a sandwich, you know, it's like, what are you doing right now? And Putin really early on was like, I'm planning on invading foreign countries like that talk shit about me. And at the time, people go, who the fuck is this guy? Because he wasn't in charge of Russia at the time. Then he got on in the 90s and shit. And you could see like slowly he was bridging a gap in between our friendship. But I mean, I miss that nigga, man. He was cool, man. He was cool to smoke. Kind of stingy with his coke. Yeah, the motherfucker didn't like to share. You know what I mean? He was more of a power guy. He was a power grab kind of guy. But it makes sense why he's right. He's up right now. You know what I'm saying? He invaded Ukraine, and a lot of people mad, right? But they don't understand, man. He's a human, just like all of us. You know, you can't hate the player. You gotta hate the game. And war makes money. War is necessary for the elites. A lot of people in NATO talking shit about him. A lot of people in NATO like, yo, you can't do this shit. And fucking Ukraine actually hopped on Twitter, right? And they were like, yo, someone delete Russia's account on Twitter. And I'm gonna just say this right now. That's some bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, take the L, Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. You know what I'm saying? You getting invaded and shit. Yo, you got time to tweet? Like, yo, I'm gonna take a video of me getting beat up and then report it to the police. Like, come on, son. You know what I'm saying? Are you snitching? You know what I'm saying? Ukraine out here snitching. I mean, all them niggas did was just roll a couple tanks through. Yeah, sure, there a couple hundred people died, but I don't know, man. Look at, we don't even talk about COVID. COVID did a lot of deaths. You know what I'm saying? And COVID now suddenly don't even really exist anymore. It's all about Ukraine at this point. And to be honest, you could side with either one. Russia, okay, or Ukraine, yeah, okay. You can go through the list of opinions that you may have, but man, when a motherfucker's like, yo, they say it's the start of World War III, but is it really though? Is it really though, or is Russia just taking back what's, you know, it's a couple of unmarked territories? It wasn't even really Ukraine. It was just like, it was like the outskirts. Imagine if we all live in cities, or if you live in a country, you'll get this even more than the people in the city. But if you're in a big city, imagine if you're in a big city, if you live out in the boony countries, out in the fucking in the hillbilly Hicksville, you live out there, and you live in a big city. Just try to wrap your head around this. Live in a big city, right? Now, everybody living in the big city, try to imagine you live in a big city, and then someone comes and takes over a little shitty town outside of your city? Did you go like, oh no, oh no? They ran through a couple of guys' tractors and jacked their tractors and burned their crops in their farm and maybe kidnapped a couple of women and murdered the farmers and stole their land and set up bases and tortured them. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you'd be like, dude, I'm in a big city, dude. What am I gonna do with that knowledge? Oh, dude, they're invading. If you live in my city, Winnipeg. Oh no, they're invading Brandon. Oh boy, Selkirk's gone. We lost Selkirk. Oh, Oak Bank is fallen. You go like, oh, dude, like no one even liked being alive there, anyways. You know what I'm saying? And that's this is pretty much the exact same thing that's going on right now in Russia and in Ukraine, right? Ukraine lost a couple of the countryside fucking villages. They lost the small neighboring towns. Big deal, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Putin, by the way. Like, hit a nigga back up, bro. Like, you can't leave your brother like this out in the cold, dog. Me and you had some good times, right? Remember that shit? I mean, pick the phone up, man. Maybe I'd be down to ride. I'd be down to ride through a couple horses with a sword and start slicing some Ukrainians' necks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need some juice. I need some clout. I need a couple murders under my belt in this rap game. So, yeah, hit me up, Putin. I mean, last I checked, I got nothing but unread messages, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's probably busy. The Russian economy is doing terrible, by the way. He's blowing a bag. Putin's out here blowing a fucking bag for this land. He's out there deploying troops. He's spent a lot of money on military equipment. And if you look at the whole market, the Russian market, in the last 5 years is steadily on an upwards slant until like the last few weeks it dropped significantly. So they dropped back 5 years. So they lost 5 years of like wealth building. They lost that shit. They lost a lot of money. Putin's blowing the bag. He's not blowing. Well, the thing is, he invaded, right? But he wants Ukraine. I think he does, because he told me that he wants it. He doesn't just want to invade. He's rolled tanks through previously in the last decade or so. He's been in and out of. Putin's the type of guy, though, when he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, he invades Russia. I mean, Russia invades Ukraine. That's just what it is. He wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and he goes and invades Ukraine. That's just what it is. And that's just what he does. It's Ukraine, to be honest. Come on, man. Come on. Ukraine's like one of those places where Ukraine's kind of like to put it in like the Office, the TV show Office, the US version, not the British version. Nobody listen. Any British version of anything sucks. No one likes the British version of anything. I'll just throw that out there. But in the Office, there's this character named Toby, and nobody liked Toby. Let's be honest, nobody likes Toby. But Toby existed, and Toby was the guy that dealt with HR. He is human resources, right? And that's what I think Putin sees Ukraine as, the Toby of the world. And not any people like we pretend to like Toby in the hit TV show The Office, the US version. We pretend to like Toby. We listen to Toby, but then when you give Toby a chance, right? And this is speaking strictly on in the reference of you give Toby a chance. You know, he blows it. You know, Toby, we're going to need you to do a nice presentation. Don't get all sweaty and nervous, and stop hitting on all the girls that already have boyfriends in the office, Toby. You're like, you show up 5 minutes late, and you show up everywhere late and with a messy fucking shirt. No one liked Toby in the office. And similarly, like Ukraine, you can make the argument. That's just I'll throw that out there. The argument of Ukraine is the Toby of the world. But that's what I think Putin sees Ukraine as. And to be honest, man, I would say, like, if I had the chance, I'd probably invade Ukraine if given the opportunity and the resources and the troops and the military. I'd say fuck it. Take Ukraine. It's a nice piece of land. A lot of beautiful women in Ukraine. And I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna dance around this. The women are beautiful, and the men. Let's be honest. I've met a couple of Ukrainian men. They look like they're ready to be. They're cucks. Let's just throw that out there. Ukrainian, they're cucks. They look like they want to be invaded. They like. You don't just wake up to an invasion. Let's just be honest. You don't just get invaded, and you go, wow, dude, this happens like once a week. You know what I mean? You get invaded. How do you get invaded once a week? I shouldn't be roasting Ukraine, but let's start the roast session off. Yeah, motherfuckers are slow. You know what I'm saying? You're slow. And my boy Putin, my homie, day one, he kept it day one since day one. Shouts out to Putin. He saw it. He saw the flaw, you know. And I think Stephen King had a tweet saying, like, if there's a big bully, and it's up to the people to not let that bully go around bullying the little guy. Everyone has to step up and punch that bully in the face or whatever. He said some shit like that, right? He also said if Putin doesn't realize he's not dealing with Trump no more, it's Biden or some shit. And to be honest, dude, I don't think Putin did anything when Trump was in office. You know, it's all facts, right? Putin invaded Ukraine with tanks during the Obama administration. He knows when Democrats are in office, and if there's a Republican, I don't think he tried shit with Bush. I mean, and I'm not even trying to like give points to Republicans. I just keep it down the middle. But it's one of those things where, Stephen King, you're a writer. You know what I'm saying? And these are your tweets. These are your most recent. Like, you delusional, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We might have to invade Stephen King's home, by the way. I'm gonna have to, yeah, no, he didn't. Putin didn't call back yet, so, Stephen King, you safe for now, but shit. Once I get that call, bruh, you know what I'm saying? We gonna come through and invade Stephen King's home. I'm gonna be like the clown, you know what I'm saying? And just hiding in the vents of Stephen King's home. And we just kidnap him, torture him a little bit, tell him to stop fucking posting that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You think you can? You really think you can punch Russia? Come on, run up and get done up, son. The fuck out of here, you know what I'm saying? It's on gang, yeah, I know a couple. My homie actually, by the way, this is a side note. My homie actually does have he's a black guy. He accidentally got a Russian tattoo. It's funny. Shouts out to Thatcher. Thatcher called it out. I don't even know. I had no idea, but yeah, Thatcher hit my buddy up when we were chilling all together, and he's like, dude, you're part of a Russian gang? He's like, no, what the fuck? And then he pulled up the fucking Google images of Russian gang tattoo, and the Russian gang tattoo is exactly what the tattoo my buddy has. He's like, dude, I just got it because it looked cool. It's one of those like navigation stars with a lot of points on them. Not like a pentagon or the Jewish star. It was like a lot more stars. You know what I mean? It was like 5 pentagons put together in a spin with a navigate. It almost looked like a navigation thing for him. And I think my buddy got it because I don't know if it looked cool or whatever. But it's a Russian gang. So your boy's part of, we're affiliated, I guess. We're in it, but we'll travel back onto Stephen. Well, I mean Stephen King, yeah. He's getting old. You know what I'm saying? There's only so many monsters you could dream of. It's like you made up so many monsters in your and a lot of his movies not movies but his books are like these creatures that there's a lot of death, right? And there's a lot of like violence, right? And then when something real happens in the world, right? He's like, oh no, you guys gotta stop that. It's like, dude, you're writing all this fiction. When something real comes knocking at your door, you know what I'm saying? Well, you gonna write about this, dog? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to I'm gonna invade fucking Stephen King's home and just punch him in the face and go, man, I'll wear a fucking clown mask and be like, write about this one, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to all the people breaking into homes right now. You know what I'm saying? Just put that out there, but yeah, me and Putin, we had some good times. You know, we would ride horses together. We frolic through the Russian fields. You know, we'd be picking dandelions up and blowing them, you know, in each other's faces. A couple of them got into our eyelashes and we blinked really slow at each other. We were just good friends, you know? We were good friends. We'd go to the carnival and we'd eat the cotton candy, you know? And then we'd always have a good time. We did the Ferris wheel and we would take pictures when we got to the top of the Ferris wheel. Me and Putin, we did a lot of good things together. And the memories that we had together were something like... play Queen's Best Friend in the background while you're listening to this, and you can understand how me and Putin's relationship was. We were good, best of buddies. We were good friends. We had a lot of laughs. We shared a lot of. We fought together. We actually did. We tag teamed a couple of these Russian babes. Me and Putin, and then like 3 Russian babes, bro. Like, we actually took them all down, and they all had multiple orgasms, and they were all satisfied. And me and Putin were just laughing the whole night. We were just laughing. And this is in cap, because it's gay to even mention, but you know, Putin's packing. Putin's got a big fucking penis, though. Putin's got he's got a hog on him, you know what I'm saying? And, we got to do plugs. This is the plug. We got this Bathmate. This is actually real, guys. And you can check the link in the description. Bathmate, the Hydro Max, and it's a penis pump, guys. And if you're looking for that extra girth, if you're looking for that extra length in penis, there's a reason why Bathmates is the number 1 best selling penis pump in the world, and it's because they deliver results. Do you want a longer, harder, and more energetic with more stamina? Without taking the pills, without taking surgery, you can get it with Bathmates. Bathmates.com. I'll drop the link down. You could use the link, and you can explore the site. Give Bathmates a call. Thousands, if not tens of thousands, maybe even millions. There's probably millions, but the records are, Bathmates does this thing where they give you discreet packaging. I got a package. I couldn't even tell. I was like, what the fuck did I get? Oh yeah, that's that penis pump. You know what I'm saying? But no one even knew. You know, it showed up at my door. Nobody knows. They can't tell that it's discreet. So and they offer that an anonymity and anonymity and anonymity, so that it protects you and your information, because it could be a little bit embarrassing. But I'm talking like, yo, well, you know, you go from like 5 inches to 7. You can gain inches, and men all across the world can relate to wanting to have a couple of inches. Hey, it's a game of inches in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? It's just like football. You know, and this is a natural pump. You know, you just add water. It's just water and you pump it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. And they even have a penis calculator. You hit that link in the description right now. You go in there and then you type in, you know, your width of your penis and your length of your penis, and you get a special product exactly tailor made that'll fit you, and it will deliver results. And listen, you get the 6-inch. You know, well, I think it's 5 to 7. You get the 5-inch, right? And you bump up. You know what you mean? Once you passed out that 5-inch, you bulk up to the 7-inch. Once you get to the 7-inch, you keep on going. Yeah, of course you keep going. And then you get to that fucking 9-inch. And then you fucking slanging 9. Bruh, imagine. Men all across the world just... The average penis size has to be going up. Every year, it's going up. And you can thank bathmates for that. You know what I'm saying? Again, just add a little bit of water. And you got that shit pumped. You don't need no pills. The fuck? Are you eating Blue Chew? Come on, son. Cialis? You taking Viagra still? Shit. I ain't putting nothing in my blood. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is getting a full pump. This shit natural, baby. Okay. We'll get back into the podcast, but just click the link in the description if you want to find out more about bathmates.com. Bro, you know, we got a promo code, but we're working on it still. But yeah, I think Putin's got the juice right now. Now, last person that I said had the juice was Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse fell off. Let's be honest. He hasn't stopped protests lately. The shit and all the truckers were fucking honking their horns. He didn't shoot anybody at that protest. What are you doing, Kyle? Kyle, what are you doing out there? You know what I'm saying? Kyle, what are you doing? The fucking streets needed to be cleared, Kyle. Well, don't tell me you lost that AR-15, dog. You know what I'm saying? But I think Putin has the juice. You might think I said Jews. I didn't say that. But he might have Jews. But he has the juice, you know? He's got the fucking... He's the big guy that walks into prison, knocks out a motherfucker, and goes, "All right, man, you know what I mean? Give me the crown, dog." That's what Putin does. That's just who he is. He's that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? People might feel a type of way calling Putin a nigga. I gave him the N-word pass back when we were riding horses and shit. And to this day, I don't think he said it. He's still holding on to that. So he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He hasn't said the N-word. I didn't hear him. Unlike Joe Rogan. Joe, I'm about to say the N-word. Rogan, come on, son. Joe, why'd you do... Joe, what? Joe, I gave you the N-word pass, but it expired. You can't. You know what I mean? You can't go around still dropping N-bombs like that. You ruin it for all the other white people that I gave the N-word pass to. And it's a lot. It's in the tens of millions of white people. Almost everybody that I interact with. I just it's like I got a business card, guys. And what I do is I just go around giving white people the N-word pass. I'm sorry, BLM. I'm sorry, BLM. I'm sorry what Martin Luther King. and Obama and Rosa Parks. I'm sorry for what you guys fought for. I just keep, oh, dude, you know, Spike Lee gonna kill me for this one. But I've been given around a lot of N-word passes because, to be honest, I like when white people say the N-word. It's like one of those equilibriums where, like, I give them the N-word pass and suddenly I get a promotion in my job the next day. I don't know how this shit works, guys. I mean, I'm living life just like you. I give an N-word pass out, suddenly my net worth grows up another $10,000. Just what happens. So, I mean, I'm for the rights of equality. I don't think that if the pendulum swings that the black people, we gotta be fucking treating, we don't have to have we don't have to start fucking putting these white people in chains. Come on, dog. But we'll leave you with the note of but Putin right now, Putin up, Ukraine down. And I've grown to say these things like Drake and Kanye West. I say Drake and Kanye West. Kanye West now, you know, it's you gotta check in on these types of events across the world. So Drake and Kanye beef, just kind of like Ukraine and Russia. Maybe next week Ukraine starts murdering this shit because NATO did give a lot of fucking weapons to just civilians, just civilized, you know, regular everyday people. These guys, you know, I think they gave a couple of they just were like, fuck it, here's an AR-15 to a 14-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? They said, yo, just protect your fucking home, guys. You know, you don't give a fuck. Here's guns to your kids. We don't give a fuck. We have all these guns, we gotta get rid of them. Right? We just got a whole lot of money. Here's a whole lot of weapons. Here's a whole lot of artillery. Guys, protect the shit out of you guys. We'll be back. We'll see. And this is what proxy wars are. I think Russia is using Pakistan to invade, which is the weirdest thing because U.S. is like funding, I don't even know. They're funding the Ukrainian civilians. It's a weird war where, like, deep down it's kind of Russia and fucking the United Nations. But NATO said, hey man, we got nukes too. Which is it's getting interesting. We'll have to check it in on it, and a lot of people are out there. There's a lot of memes, and you can make fun of it, but deep down, I think the people want the trilogy to end. You know, we need a trilogy for the world wars, right? We got World War I, we got World War II. What are they gonna do? Fuck around with World War III? You know what I'm saying? Well, it's expected. World War III now with more memes, right? Like, it's, you know, people like nostalgia. But I'll get onto what I am. Mediumjay. Mediumjay is this guy, right, in this podcast. This is Mediumjay. Hi, guys. That's me. Hi, friends. But the lore of Mediumjay kind of can get a little confusing, right? And I want to say that everything that I've ever said on this podcast is canon. It's canon to the character of Mediumjay. Everything that I said, right? Including, I did go to Afghanistan in Kabul. I subsequently was brainwashed by the U.S. military. They did really do that. I really was on the Epstein Island. So, you know, these are all previous episodes that I talked about. But I was there only to go swimming. You know, I made that very clear. I was there just to go swimming. I just wanted to go swimming on the island. I was like, man, this is shit. This is this shit, right? There's a lot of people that went to the island just to go swimming. They didn't want, dude, I don't want to fuck kids. I actually like old women. I like 50-year-old women. I remember being a kid in daycare, and I was underage. I was about 6 years old. And I seen this fat ass Brazilian girl. She must have been 38. She must have been one of the older women that was working there, because there was like 20-year-olds and shit. But I like that. I like a nice, mature, developed woman, because I think she knows what to do with your boy. And I was 6 years old at the time, and I made that distinction. I'm like, man, look at all these 6-year-olds. Who gives a fuck of these flat-chested bitches? And I was 6 years old, so it was okay to sexualize at that time. But I was like, yo, these bitches don't got shit. I remember seeing like an Asian girl, and she had hair on her arms. I go, what the fuck? She's got hair on her arms, but she's underdeveloped, right? I mean, this again. Remember, I was 6 years old at the time, and I just, I was playing with the Play-Doh, and then I just seen the fattest ass from this Brazilian bitch. She might have been Colombian or Cuban. It's just some sort of Latinx. I actually, you know what? I might be misgendering her. She could have been a man, which ultimately would not stop my sexual desires for her, right? At the time, right? Obviously now she's probably dead at this time. This is 30. She's probably 60. She's probably retired. So she probably. But the point is, right? I like women that are a little bit older than me because they're just happy, they're just a little more, they got a little more sexual angst. A lot of these girls my age, they're like, maybe I'll fuck, maybe I won't. And I go, well, maybe I'll talk to you, maybe I won't. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to like all the girls playing games. Make it easier for me to realize what's real and what's not, and all the guys out there too. But yeah, I was really on that island, and I was really cool with Epstein and shit. But it's because it's all canon, guys. It's all canon. But I was just there to play some tennis with the celebrities and go swimming. Now, my baby mama thinks I'm gonna assassinate my son. This is canon. So, I mean, what's gonna happen is my son's gonna grow up. It's gonna be like a Gemini thing, but except it's not back in time, future thing, with Will Smith, Gemini Man, the movie. But my son's just gonna grow up and he's gonna try to kill me. So I've been doing push-ups. I've been doing laps around. I've been running a little bit, doing like stair sets in my apartment block, running up and down the stairs and shit. I'm training because eventually my son's gonna grow up and he's gonna try to kill me. So I have to get to him first, right? This is canon, by the way. It's ridiculous, right? But it's the life I live. It's so ridiculous that almost you could think to yourself, I don't think it's true, and you'd go like, wait, he did all of these things. And to be honest, there's a lot of stuff that in future podcasts that I'll get to. Like I was the first. I was on the moon. I wasn't the first. I was the first African American. Not even being African from Africa or even from America, but my dad's African. I was the first motherfucker on the fucking moon. You know what I'm saying? And what's fucked up is you go, I don't believe it, but here's I'll let you in on a little secret to let you know how truthful this is. I was on the moon. And you want to know why we never went back to the moon? Because when I went up to the moon, right? And shouts out NASA, by the way. We went up there. I had a spider. I had a pet spider. I thought the spider was a boy, right? Turns out the spider was a girl. I called the spider Timmy. So I misgendered the spider, and I want to apologize. The spider has yet to forgive me. Spider, is yet to forgive me. But I went up there with the spider, right? Thinking it was a guy. It was a spider that was a female, and it was actually pregnant, right? The spider was pregnant. So I let the spider roam free on the moon. But when it was time to go back, I couldn't find the spider. I lost the spider. So the spider had babies, right? And these apparently the moon's atmosphere for spiders is really good. Spiders can thrive in the moon. They got really big, and they had future, generations, and they produced and got these big. They got these big, like, they got really big, like in Star Troopers or whatever. That they did those big bugs when they go to a different planet, and it's big bugs. That's what I did to the moon. The moon's invaded with space spiders now. Because I wanted to bring my pet spider Timmy up to the moon that I thought was a boy, but it was a girl, and when what happened in Apollo 13 is when they found out, oh shit, there's these giant spiders. The crew got killed. There's no survivors. They said it blew up and everything, and that's a lie. But I get myself into these wacky situations, right? That's just one of the things that I got into. But it's canon, by the way. It's all canon. And I did really go to the metaverse. It's canon. I really did run game on Mark Zuckerberg's little fucking program, bruh. Like, I really did commit so much crime. And I'm not talking about, like, dabble in crime. What did you do? Run a red light in the metaverse? No, we fucking had so much invested in the RICO. It was a RICO, to be honest. It was and you can check all these podcasts out if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But I really did go to the metaverse, and I was really trapped in there for the longest time until I found a way out. You know what I'm saying? I really did go to the astral world, and I did see Chris Brown beating the shit out of the B Rihanna, little B Rihanna. And it was crazy, man. I was one of the only survivors at that time in Travis Scott's concert. It was fucking wild, right? And I want people to, like the future guests, I want the people that come on the show, and if you fuck with your boy and you want to come on the show, and if you want to debate some of the shit, because a lot of people can, they can maybe try to poke holes in my history and shake me up and rattle things up, make it interesting, maybe even get me to elaborate on the stories to give a more vivid detail on some of the accounts that I've had in recent years. But it's all canon, guys. It's all canon. All of it is like, it's a streamline. There's a lot of stuff that Mediumjay has been through, but if you want to, try to fuck with me and everything, I suggest try it. Run up, because I'm really friends with Putin. So if you know what I mean, you really try to assassinate me, boy. You don't talk to me like we used to, but I'm sure he still will pull up, you know what I'm saying? He still will pull up, and you know what I'm saying? You don't want Russia to invade your home, is all I'm saying. You see what they're doing to Ukraine right now? Let's smoke one for Ukraine right now. I mean, I talked a lot of shit, but shouts out to Ukraine. They putting up a battle. They could probably win, to be honest. If USA gets involved, dog, shit. The funny thing is, I don't even think Ukraine declared a national emergency like Canada did with the truckers. Did they? Someone has to look into that. I'm not even too sure. But yeah. I think in all honesty, though, what's happening with Ukraine and Russia is fucked. A lot of people think it's going to be the brink of World War III. This is how it happens. People say, I think I got to wait till Germany does something. We got to see what's going on with China and Taiwan. But if things go, like, it seems like things are going to go to, like, countries are getting more divided than ever. Even factions with their own, like the allies. A lot of people don't feel the connection there. Like, Canada and U.S. probably the closest allies throughout the world, as far as two neighboring countries are concerned. I've never seen tensions between Canada and U.S. as high as they are right now. Like, a lot of people talking shit about, and a lot of people talking shit about Canada, saying this and that, and in the U.S. they're making fun of us. So Canada might have to invade U.S., bro. Like, what the fuck? And people are saying, I seen this news site, I think it was the Babylon Bee, and I take that shit seriously. They said that U.S. is gonna come and invade and restore democracy in our country. I say, run up and get done up, bro. We a dictatorship. Shouts out to Trudeau, because I mean, he's kind of like the Xi Jinping of I think is that his name? Xi Jinping. He's the Chinese Prime Minister of Canada. You know, he really might as well just put on a mask. He might as well put on yellow face. He's already been through the rainbow of fucking colors. He's been a Nazi. He's, you know, Trudeau. And this isn't, we're off topic, obviously, but Trudeau's actually dressed his brown face, actually dressed up as a Nazi. And here's another kicker for you guys that don't, you know, go, oh, okay, whatever. You know, he was young and dumb. Here's something that's probably unforgivable. Now, I read this on 4chan, so it's got to be true. They said that Trudeau, at his time at, I think it was West Point, or he was at a fucking little school, elementary school, right, teaching. And Trudeau, here's the suspicious part. Trudeau allegedly raped a 12-year-old, right? This student of his. And the fucked up thing is, you know, we can't really say what happened. You know, I don't want to be assassinated by my Canadian Prime Minister. But the weird thing is he sent out $2.5 million. And it was back in the day, so it's probably more due to inflation. He sent out that money to the family as hush money because they wanted to pursue legal action against him. And he didn't want a criminal record as a sex offender. I mean, nobody does. It's fucking career suicide, to be honest, right? It politically, actually, you know what? What am I saying? Politically, it's literally technically suicide if you come out as a person that fucked a fucking 12-year-old dog. I mean, raped. You raped. She's so a 12-year-old dog, and this is fucked up. But this is what I believe, and to be honest, it's I can't say it happened for real, but the way I read into it and the things that I've seen, and if you dig a little deep, you can actually find actual fucking cited notations of what actually went on, and you go, I mean, it's not even a far-fetched conspiracy if you got, like, why did so he just felt like he needed to send the family $2.5 million because she was such a good student. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucked up. It is fucked up. So I'm on the fuck Trudeau gang, but maybe US does need to invade Canada. Maybe not. I mean, I would say someone invade us. Maybe Russia could come through and invade us. Maybe Russia could come through and he just fucking shoot Trudeau in the head, and Putin goes, yeah, all right, fuck the Queen, you guys are part of us now. I'd be like, you know what, that's pretty lit, Russia. Shouts out to Vladimir Putin. And then he would probably dap me up, probably put me in command of the army and shit, and I'd fucking be like, yeah, I'd roll with an iron fist, like, to be honest. Like, if I'm a part of the fucking military, first of all, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, my plan, it's canon. It's canon, so it's all Mediumjay's. It's all the lore of Mediumjay and the story behind him, behind the man at the podcast. If my plan, if I got my setup, I would get into, you know, these low level politics, work my way up to become the military administrator, or whatever you call it, the defense administrator. I would turn my card from a defensive stance like in Yu-Gi-Oh! To the attack position. I would just start wars with low-level countries. I would invade, I don't know, Turkey. Just say, fuck it. Dude, we're invading Turkey, dog. And then I'd be like, yo, it's and I'd make it fun for the public, too. I'd go like, hey, guys, we're invading Turkey, so it's gonna go on for a solid year. We're just gonna fucking set up bases, you know, pillage and murder quite a bit of people in Turkey. We're just going around, you know, we're going to take this over. Turkey's now going to be established of Canada. But I'd make it fun. I'd say, hey, guys, it's Thanksgiving all year today. You know what I mean? Give thanks to the people that you love and stuff, obviously at home. But in Turkey, just nothing but mowing down villages, just napalm strikes on the crops, leave them famished, and I'd exhaust multiple resources, obviously in Canada, but I'd just go, hey guys, listen, Turkey's coming in a can now. Who cares? You guys got to get them some Dollarama gelatin, jellos and shit. But who cares, man? We're getting our swagger back. It's like Canada, I feel like, is Austin Powers. What he didn't have is mojo. I feel like we don't have our mojo. So I'd give it the mojo that I'd get it back. I got my mojo back. You know what I mean? With the penis pump. So it's all canon, guys. I got my mojo back. I got pumped, bro. I've been pumping bitches now, laying dick, and I feel like I could transfer how good I fuck onto the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? It was Loverboy season last weekend. This weekend, it's Shot Flow season. You know what I mean? He's shooting down motherfuckers. And I feel like if I was the defense administrator, I'd be great at just laying a solid iron fist throughout the world, shaking shit up. People won't go, hey bud, are you from Canada, eh? Hey pal? Oh yeah. Oh, just gonna play a little bit of hockey in my igloo. No one's gonna do that. They're gonna go, you Canadian? Your fucking country bombed my village in 2023. The fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? We never recovered. And I'd go like, you shouldn't have had your resources laying around like they'd, they weren't yours. You know what I'm saying? We came up and we took them shits. You know what I'm saying? We took your oil, gas. We took your motherfucking gold. We took all your precious fucking women, and we rounded them up and we sent them to camp, dog. And now they work for us, dog. You know what I'm saying? You guys are pretty much our slaves, dog. That's what. I'm sorry. Run up and get done up. That's what that'd be literally my quote. I'd just get on national TV and people would go, "We need you to be accountable for your actions," and I'd go run up and get done up, son. They'd have to assassinate me. They'd have to shoot. And here's where it comes, my son growing up watching me be very evil. I'm so evil, right? I'm so evil in lore, right? And it's all canon, by the way. That when my son gets to a certain age where he can understand politics, and this is an 18-year plan, 18 to 23-year-old plan that's set in motion already. I can't stop it. I would get on and I'd be at the point where I'm Scarface, I'm getting high off my own supply. I'm snorting coke off like a sword that I stole from Japan. At that time, Japan would be called New Ottawa. No, I'd call Japan New Vancouver. I'd just do that. I would do that. I'd make it light. Keep it light. New Vancouver, bro. We don't give a fuck. And I'd be so fucking juiced up, bro. I'd be so fucking with the shits, but at the same time off them shits, bro. I'd be doing a lot of drugs and getting paranoid, and then my son would have to come and blow my brains out. And as my son, got that first bloodlust, right? He killed me, right? He killed his father, and then he goes, I like this shit. And hopefully my son would be like Alexander the Great, you know what I mean? Because I would be ruling, but I'd get lazy, right? I'd be resting on my laurels, if you will. I got to a position of power, and I kind of diddled around with a lot of bullshit. I like life. I like to enjoy life, and I like to get drunk and fuck, So I'd be blowing. And then my son comes in and he goes, my dad don't know shit. That's what he said. My dad's a bitch, right? And he pop me, right? and it would be in the middle of supper, kind of like Jesus' Last Supper. You know, I had all my friends. I'm sitting around. We're all on one side of the table for some reason. Doesn't really make sense seat wise. But then he'd just come and blow my brains out. And then what the crazy thing is, my son would just take my body, toss it off to the side, and then he would just sit down. And then he would all right, so you guys can't be doing business. You would just come in and change things. You guys can't be doing business as usual, guys. And you'd move things around and shit. And I think honestly that's fair to the lore of Mediumjay. Maybe that's how it ends. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll get my son on the podcast and maybe he'll kill me live. It doesn't matter. But we'll move to a little more serious note. I want to say shouts out to Thatcher. Shouts out to Thatcher Robinson for coming on the podcast. Thatcher, to be honest, he's one of those guys that I didn't really know much about him, but like I fucked with his music. I've been to a couple of his shows years ago, and I just remember I'd post a lot of these rants that I'd do on like clips of the podcast onto Instagram, right? And he would always like them. He's like, yo, dude, you're funny, bro. You're probably like the funniest person in the city, bro. Like, you're fucking hilarious. And I was like, man, I appreciate that, man. It's always good to be kind of, I mean, we do these things and we make content, and it's obviously funny. It's obviously supposed to be taken as satire. I mean, it's just a guy with a microphone and a fucking iPhone setup, right? Camera. It's not like, I'm obviously not fucking planning on being a world leader that's gonna assassinate everybody, but some people actually believe everything I say is true. So the whole everything is canon lore thing obviously is, you gotta keep going with those guys that truly believe that you're this fucking weird deity or something. But like, yeah, he reached out to me and he's like, man, I'd love to be on the podcast, man. And he brought his friend Coven on, and bro, this shit was fun as fuck, man. And I love when fucking Coven was talking shit about fucking Winnipeg rappers and shit. And I'm like, yo, I feel the exact same way, man. That shit was hilarious. Yo, like, the city needs some sort of fucking heavy beats. Motherfuckers out here in Winnipeg, you ain't got nearly the type of fucking music that y'all think y'all got. Y'all got some fucking... don't be recording in your living room when your mom's telling you to fucking shh, keep it down, stop talking so much shit. You know what I'm saying? And just because you got one feature with like a relevant an irrelevant rapper fucking years ago don't mean you fucking that guy. You know what I mean? You're not the big cojones, or whatever, in the city. But there's a lot of guys out there in Winnipeg that rap, and they do like 2 or 3 videos a year, and they blow the budget and then they only had 2 or 3 songs. They only had like a fucking 6-track album, which is an EP, to be honest. I think anything less than 10 songs is an EP. You got 9 songs, is an EP, but that's just my opinion. And these guys, they think they got the juice. Like, they made you can't make 2 singles a year and think you a rapper. You a fucking, that's a hobby, bro. You're like it's like you're knitting or something. You know what I mean? You're fucking knitting with your career, dog. Your boy out here, I just dropped the Medium Effect. We could plug that. I'll actually drop it in the link too, right beside the Bathmates link. This shit's fucking dope. I think it's really dope. I kind of fucked up, to be honest. I kind of fucked up on the first intro. I made it kind of way too quiet. I should have fucking just amped up the volume a little bit on that. I wasn't too sure exactly how it would sound coming out all together, but looking on it, it's kind of good too, in a sense, because I'm looking at, when I listen to the whole thing, I turn up the fucking intro all the way up to the max, and then right after the intro bangs into Stay With The Stick, And that shit fucking, it's actually good because I'm like, bro, I need it loud. You need them to hear that beat. You need to hear everything. You need to hear the vocals. You need to hear the fucking ad libs. You need to hear all that shit come through at once, collectively. And it sounds fucking dope. I really like it. I've been listening nonstop to it. So I'm like, man, I can only wait till like more people can hear it and get familiar with Mediumjay and Cash Leaders. But yeah, I want to say shouts out to Thatcher, shouts out to Coven. I'm fucking in the works. We'll probably get Coven to do a couple of my videos, man. Get him to edit some, get him to film during the summer. Obviously, it's fucking Canada. It's winter peg. We live in a city where it's fucking cold as shit right now. There ain't nobody filming shit outside or doing anything. We're just all trying to stay warm right now. We're in deep hibernation. But yeah, I think there's going to be more shit coming on the way. I'm glad I fucking got him on the podcast. I was kind of nervous. We got a little drunk too, and I was kind of fucked up. And I also want to apologize too, because I was looking at my phone, right? My buddy throughout the fucking podcast was messaging me. He kept fucking messaging me, and I'm like, fuck, man. I finally checked it. But I checked it at the time when Thatcher was talking about some personal stuff in his life, going, you know, what he was going through, and he was talking, and I'm like, I was still listening, but at the same time, it was kind of disrespectful to pull out my phone and just start texting. But it was one of those texts where it's like, yo, I'm busy, fucking hit me back up in like 30 minutes, like, you know what I mean? Like, stop fucking texting me, because it got to a point where, like, man, just fucking buzzing and shit, and I'm like, okay, what? Oh shit, and here's the thing, and here's why I really want to apologize to Thatcher, is the dude my buddy wanted money, and he said he would pay me back last Friday, and he has yet to fucking message me, boy. So I'm like, what the fuck? What a dick, right? Like, I wish I just never even answered that text, and is a mistake on my part, to be honest. But yeah, I want to apologize to Thatcher for it was kind of disrespectful, to be honest, and that was the one, like, throughout the podcast, I think it was a perfect podcast that we did. We talked our shit, we had jokes, we got, you know, we were serious for the interview with just talking about all the stuff he's going through. I think that's amazing that he's donating stuff, because he's fairly popular in the city, right? So I think that's fucking big of him to just say, you know what, I'm gonna donate some of my time and give back and get these, you know, home cooked meals to the people out on Main Street and you know, in the projects and shit. So that's big, man. And yeah, I just think it was a perfect podcast up until the point where I watched myself pull out the phone and I go, fucking drunk me sometimes makes bad decisions, right? Just like everybody. But what we were talking about, all of that was fairly real. Like, I usually try to do, when I do podcasts with people, it'll probably be more real as opposed to the parody skits that technically they're all skits. But again, the character Mediumjay, it's all canon. You know, you guys gotta invest in the lore. And yeah. So last week was really fun, and enough rubbing myself off for the podcast that we did. It was Loverboy season, you know what I mean? I think it's still Loverboy season. It's all February. It's going through. Ukraine needs some love, though, guys. And a lot of Ukrainian babes are really worried. And I'm really worried, too. Because with this whole woke culture, they put these women in a position that now they have to be drafted. I read a tweet online, so it has to be true, that these women are getting now drafted to the military in Ukraine to fight off Russians. And that's scary, right? Because I think no woman really thought the equality movement would go as far as to just be able to get drafted. Back in, 100 years ago, I think the women would have preferred, a guy slapping my ass in the club, and I don't. It's just what it is, and or a guy, a man beating his wife. That was just slapping his wife. That was. I mean, it's not okay. But like, listen, slap me in the face. Don't send me to war, right? Like, but they fought for equality, so they got the rights to be drafted at this point. And I think the women are going, fuck. We really fucked up. And I see like a lot of these parody tweets and shit online going like, women, we fucked up with this equality shit. Like, let me be a trophy wife. Let me just take care of that. All I had to do was wash dishes and fold the fucking laundry. That's all I had to do. Man would take out the garbage because I'd just stay home. And to be honest, it was great. Now I gotta, women. Now I gotta fucking work my ass off, and for a career that probably pays shit anyways. Most careers do. You work your whole life. You give your whole life to something, and you max out at like 80K, and you go, this is great. That's enough. When in reality, the money is so fucking, everything's so expensive now. Like 80K a year is like what minimum wage should be. Minimum wage should have been 80K a year. I don't know how people live off of 20K. It's less than. If you're working part-time, working seasonal, you get laid off and shit. Yeah, I feel bad for the women because they dug their own graves, you know what I'm saying? But I'll leave it on this note. I won't leave it on bashing women like I always do. I'll leave it on the Ukraine conflict. Ukraine, you got this. Hold your head up. You guys are getting, it's the fourth quarter. You looked at what happened. You're down by 30. It's the playoffs. You're on the brink of getting eliminated. You look up and you see a guy being dropped, and it's like one of those fucking juggernaut drones. You go, what the fuck is coming in? And it's scary. It's scary to see as Ukraine. It's scary to see all of these troops coming in across your border, trying to invade. But life has a way. Karma has a motherfucker. Ukraine may feel worried right now, but don't get me wrong. With NATO pushing up its heads, a lot of people around the world, what did they do? They dropped. I think Twitch just said, fuck it. Everybody in Russia can't stream no more. That's what I'm pretty sure that's what they said. Like, a lot of people are cutting ties to Russia. Russia's looking real bad right now. And if Russia, and I said this throughout the podcast, Russia actually ran up. But when you run up, sometimes you get done up. They already lost a lot of their fucking, a lot of their stock markets and shit have just crashed. He already exhausted. Dude, Putin blew his load. He blew a bag. He lost all of his shit. The country is in tough times. It's worse than a recession because it's like, they're gonna have to get the equipment either out or they keep pushing. He put himself in a position almost as far as, like, if you look at war, you played the game Risk. Once you have all your troops away from home base, someone can invade you. Real easy. Someone can, you know what I mean? Especially because you don't have half of your military. I would assume that you would try to maybe use half your military, or even if he's using, it's a proxy war, so he's using thing. He could easily lose his friendship if this shit don't work with Pakistan. He could easily lose, because to be honest, that's going on. I mean, a lot of people don't even think it's real. It's not like it's kind of bad. It's again the neighboring country, not countries, but neighboring towns of just around Ukraine, the unmarked territories or whatever, the neutral zones, I guess, that weren't really. I mean, it's excuses, right? But I don't see if it's already there's trouble going, right? And a couple of warships were blown up from Russia. Russia blew up a couple of ships from Ukraine, which is fucked up, to be honest. But when NATO says, "Listen, we have nukes and we're gonna use them," you gotta take that with a grain of, not a grain of salt, or you gotta take it with some sort of, you gotta hold it in and go dude, Putin, you gotta smarten up, get your act together, Putin. You can't just take Ukraine back, because if you really want to take back USSR, USA is gonna say, "Nah, man, we're the only country with the U acronym, USA, dude. You want Ukraine? You getting fucked up, buddy. You know, you pal." And to be honest, everybody's waiting on what Biden chooses to do, whatever Sleepy Joe Biden's gonna do. He'll sleep, and maybe even in his dreams he'll go, bomb them bitches, and that'll be enough to go, all right, great. Now USA hopped in and started fucking shit up with Ukraine, and started with Ukraine fucking shit up against Russia, because to be honest, I think Ukraine needs some defense. Ukraine, as much as I made fun of Stephen King at the beginning, I think the world allies around the world, we would like to see Ukraine do well. We would all do. We'd love to see Ukraine thrive. Ukraine, and especially their women. Their women are so beautiful. I've seen nothing but tens. As far as I knew a girl that was Polish, but she's Polish part Ukraine. She is a beautiful girl. I'll just throw that out there. And if you're watching, the beautiful girl that I subliminally mentioned, hang out. I mean, we used to be cool. I'd love to just get to know some Ukrainian women, right? And it's not obviously what I'm saying isn't, it's not tied into the defense of Ukraine, but I'm definitely not doing it for the men.